by the mid-'70s, you were starting to write about human experimentation. You published a book in 1977 with Leonard Glantz on informed consent to human experimentation. What started taking you down that road, and what did you hope to achieve with that book?
Yeah, I mean, there's a chapter on human experimentation in the rights of patients, obviously, and they're very closely related. We wrote that book. I mean, that book was written for the National Commission. It was outside of the psychosurgery chapter. All the other chapters were written as informed consent background papers for the National Commission's report. And
could you explain what that is?
Yeah, the National Commission for the Protection of Subjects of Biomedical and Behavioral Research, which was set up by Congress in 1973 as a result primarily of the Tuskegee experiments. And that commission was charged with drafting regulations. Actually, first, last, and only commission that had that specific charge. And as part of their work, they needed, well, we thought they needed, and we convinced them they did, some very serious work on informed consent, because that was, for us, that was kind of the key to protecting human subjects, giving them the tools they needed to protect themselves, basically, through informed consent. So we argued to them, and I think it was right. I think Leonard Glantz was probably most influential in setting up this notion that, the Nuremberg Code talked about informed, voluntary, competent, and understanding consent. And we argued that those different things are more or less important in different settings. Like for the competent person, it's informed. Obviously, you want to be voluntary and competent as well. For the patients with mental disabilities, it's the competent part. For children, it's also the competent part. And for prisoners, it was the voluntary part. And that, you could set up, a whole look at these different categories, which the commission wanted to look at by emphasizing different parts of the doctrine of, called informed consent for short, probably better to call it informed choice. And so we did, and then we sold the commission staff Michael Yessley on that, and then we wrote it for him.